Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was, but we're just gonna go with it. Hello, welcome to I'm a Toxic Reader. You might be one too. So let me explain where this whole concept and idea came from. So last year I had done a video where I talked about book habits that I hate, and I think people were watching that video or were clicking on that video thinking I was going to be talking about the community, and I ended up spending 10 minutes dragging myself for filth. Somebody had asked me yo, can you do that again? I'm like, damn, you want to see me drag myself across the internet for filth? But of course. So I am here today to let you know that I am a toxic reader, and if you share these same traits, you might be a toxic reader too. So I did go back and I did watch that video, okay? I was not gonna sit down and make a fool of myself and do the same exact things that I had put on the previous video, except one thing, because you know what? This is what makes me the most toxic reader of all. So I have 6 things. In this one, or maybe I have 7 things. I think I have 7. Oh gosh. At first I was like, oh, I only have 5. And then I was like, no girl, you got 6. Dang, I didn't know I had 7. We're gonna start with number 1. I'm a reading garden hoe. Because I feel I had to insert garden there. I know that I talked about this in the last video, but I'm gonna say it again. Books and there's no monogamy. And I have realized that even going into 2024, your girl has commitment issues when it comes to me in books. I don't know what monogamy is. I don't. Literally, I will be immersed in a book, even if I'm immersed in this especially happens with audiobooks. So me and the audiobook are vibing, we having a conversation, I'm listening to what it's saying, and while I'm listening to them, I'm scrolling looking for other books to check out. So part of me feels like my book is talking to me and engaging with me, and then I'm on a dating website looking for other things to pick up. It's disgusting. It is toxic. It is toxic. I will leave my books at home. Have a great day. I'll see y'all when I get home. I get to work, and you know what I do? I check out everything else. Touch everything else, flip through it, smell it, and then have the audacity to try to sneak it back home in a bag as if my other books won't see it. I know I talked about this, but when I started thinking about some of the behaviors that I've been doing already in January when it comes to checking out books and reading, horrible. I am truly horrible. I am tragic. Tragic. Here's another one, and I'm trying very hard not to do this year, but I'm the person that will read popular books and know that they're not written for me. That's toxic as F-U-C-K. And if you see people doing that and you do that, you're toxic. Okay? You're toxic. Because what is the purpose? What is the purpose? What exactly is the purpose? For example, okay, Fourth Wing. People were reading Fourth Wing before me. People were giving descriptions. And you know what? In the pit of my soul, I knew that book wasn't for me. I knew I had no business picking that book up. I knew ain't no way Miss Rebecca Yarros was ever going to write a book that was going to be for me. So why did I pick it up? Oh, I just want to see what everybody's talking about. I got FOMO. I need toxic. Because I knew that book wouldn't get nothing over no 3 stars. Ain't no way that book was going to get more than 3 stars from me. It had barely scraped with 2. Listen, I'm going to try so hard this year not to do that. But I'd be a liar if I said to you that's already not happening. Alright, another... This is kind of 50-50. You low-key can win, and sometimes you're going to lose when it comes to me. if I were you, and you can speak to so many of the people who've probably been traumatized dealing with me. You know the Mean Girl scene where they're like, have you ever been victimized by Regina George? Like, there'd be a lot of people who would raise their hand on this one, okay? Don't ever buddy read with me. I had one successful buddy read last year. And the only reason why that was successful, I feel like, is because I had great co-host, one. And two, it was a series that I really had been like pushing myself to finish for years. And we finally got it done last year. But any other buddy read I had last year, it happened. And I'm not sure why. Like, I love the idea of like reading books with people and discussing them. Like, we're reading the same book at the same time, and it's like vibes. And then my whorish tendencies kick in. And while I'm supposed to be committed to doing this one thing with this one book, I look at hundreds of other books that I think are worthy of love and time and attention and care and compassion. And so I give it to them because we give the people what they want. I know a lot of y'all do this, and so y'all go ahead and sign off and recognize that you got a toxic trait about you. I avoid my physical TBR like it's the plague. I avoid my physical TBR like if I touch it, I will become diseased. Literally. I run from it. It's like, at this point, a lot of times I look at my physical shelf and I'm like, this shit is just for decoration. Because like 70% of my book reading comes from the library. Like, because it's this thrill of this idea of being able to read whatever I want, and like I'm not paying, I mean, I pay taxes, so technically yes, but like I'm not paying for it. And so I feel liberated and free and just amazing because I'm like, I can have all the things, which is a privilege, but I'm like, I can have all the things. And then I come home and I look at my physical shelf and I'm like, I'll get sick if I touch you. So I'm just gonna look at you and admire you. You still look great, but you're diseased. And I can't have myself catching any type of infection. And so I just don't, you know, I mean, it's ridiculous. I have people who come over here and they're like, oh, you've read all these books? And I'm like, actually, no, I haven't. They're like, so, all those books that you say you read a year, those are not the books that you're reading? Nope. Nope. Those are not the books I'm reading. The books that I'm reading that I talk about all the time are not here. They don't belong to me. At the library. I am making a conscious effort this year. If you have seen any, I've posted 2 weekly wrap-ups. By the time that this goes up, 2 weekly wrap-ups should have already been posted. And I had made it a goal, basically, like, at least I need to be reading like 1 book a week for my physical TBR. And so far I have been doing that. I've been reading more than 1 book from my physical TBR, which is great. I think even last week, I think I had read 3 from my physical TBR. So, you know, we're small baby steps. We're making progress, but child, I don't know. Okay, so this one is kind of strange. And I'm gonna show you. Do I have an example? Yes, I do. I have an example. It's amazing. I have an example with me. So I know all the girlies love to annotate. Like, you know, it's like an aesthetic type of situation now with annotating and doodling and stickers and tabs and highlighters. And I'm not shaming y'all. I'm really not, because you know what? Here's what makes me toxic. I love annotating. I used to annotate when I was taking English classes in high school, and not with all the pretty markers and the tabs. No, just like with a pencil, taking notes. Like, that was my jam when I was in high school. And so I still have that mentality. I had a high school teacher who was very big on us annotating, interacting with the text to be able to study it better. And, you know, I still have that passion. Bullshit. Annotating slow you down, man. And it's toxic to have that type of mindset where you're like, oh, I'm not gonna annotate this book, bro. It's gonna take too long to read the book. It slows me down. That is That's a horrible mentality to have. And let me show you how irritating it is, okay? Let me show you how irritating it is. I started annotating this book, mind you, okay? I started annotating this book, who knows when? Who knows when I started annotating this book? When I went to go talk about reading this book, which is Arusha, and The End of Time, right? I had saw that I had left some dabs in it. That's it. And I was talking about, I ain't never read this book before, y'all. I can't believe I own this book for this long and I've never read it. No, sis, you've read this book. You started reading this book. I started reading this book because I was annotating this book. But you know what happened? Because I know myself. You know what happened? I started reading and annotating this book, and you know what I said to myself? This shit taking too long. I'm finna put this book down. That's exactly what my while behind would have said is. This annotating taking me too long, man. I'm finna put this shit down. I gotta move on to something else. I come back to it. And I never came back to the book. That's toxic. It's toxic. I have a whole book upstairs and I've been like annotating, like deep annotating it. And like, it does. Annotating it does force you to slow down and engage with the text in a different way, which is a good thing. But I think that I like the idea of annotating still, but I think my patience has kind of like, just kind of, there are some books though that I do still annotate, don't get me wrong. There are books that I still annotate, and those are books that I expect to be like slower reads. But I'm also not in the vein of mine anymore that I feel like I need to annotate every single book that I read. I think I went through that at one point. I was like, I gotta annotate every book. And no, it's not a thing that's gonna happen. I will still annotate, but in my own time, the way that I feel is best. As a librarian, I feel like my fellow library people will be able to relate to me on this, okay? I never return my library books on time. No, you didn't mishear that. No, I promise you heard that right. I am a librarian. I work at a library 5 days a week, and I never return my books on time. Sometimes I'm at the library 6 days a week because I take my child to story time. I never return my books on time. I am at the library for over 40 hours a week. I don't return my books on time. I look at my library account every single day. I do not return my library books on time. I can see that there is a holds list. I know how long the holds list is. I do not return my library books on time. I sit next to the pad to check in the books. I never return my library books on time. No, there's no reason. It's the same reason why I check out books and I literally am hoarding them. I feel like sometimes I'm hoarding library books because a due date will come up and be like, hey, I checked that book out. I don't even know where that book is. I've never heard of that book. But clearly, boo, you have, because you checked it out. Who else was checking out these books? It's quite tragic, my friends. It's quite tragic, but also quite funny at the same time. Because even when, like, we don't do fines anymore, when we had fines, I remember having a conversation with my mom and she was like, yeah, so like how much do y'all charge for fines? And I forget the amount now, but I had told her and she's like, you don't have fines, do you? I said, absolutely. She's like, but how? I said, what do you mean how? She said, how do you have fines? I said, because I didn't turn in the book on time. She said, but how did you not turn it on time and you're there every day? I don't know. I don't know. I wish I had an answer, but there's no answers. It's just toxic. That's all I can say. And the last one that's on this list is one that I feel like a lot of us can connect to. I'm a toxic reader that connects more to characters than humans in real life. Let me be honest with you and say that I do have friends in real life, okay? I am just at the age now where if I'm not outside the house before 9 o'clock and I don't have a babysitter, it ain't happening. And so me and my books have gotten rather close, and we have gotten to know each other very, very well. It gives me plenty of time to meet so many different people. And guess what? Like, I connect with them because I don't really have to engage with these people. I like them from a distance, and it's cool, and it's perfect, and it's complete vibes. But yeah, my human interactions with other adults is kind of like... It happens. I do hang out with other adults on the weekends, but as you get older, as I have found, goodness gracious, couldn't get that out. As I have found, as I have gotten older, I am not as social as I used to be. You know, I think I got kind of burnt out on the socialization part of life, because when I was in college, social butterfly, like post grad, social butterfly. I hit my late 20s. I was like, who the hell signed me up to talk to people? I don't want to talk to nobody anymore. I think a lot of that too comes from being like, when I was working front facing too, when you're talking to people all day and you have to keep your energy up. I kind of wanted to be alone a lot whenever I would get off work when I was front facing. And even now still, like, you know, I still have a lot. I work with humans, clearly. I'm not working in isolation. And sometimes you just feel drained. And so that isolation feels really, really good. And I would have never thought that that would be the case for me, but it's something that I recognize now being older. And so I start to connect with fictional people. Because I can close a book and walk away, and I don't have to, like, that's it. That's as far as it goes. If I get tired of them, close the book, I walk away. There doesn't have to be a discussion about why I don't like you, why I do like you, why I no longer want to interact with you, or why I want to continue, like, being in your I don't have to do all that. It's a very simple, easygoing, non-committal type of situation. That's what I love in my life right now. So yes, I have strong connections to fictional characters, and not so much with humans in real life. Not a lot of humans. Let me stop, because y'all are gonna think like, dang, Ashley, you don't talk. No, not a lot. I keep my circle small. My circle ain't as big as it used to be in the past, and that's intentional. It's on purpose. I'm a very private human, and so there's a lot of pieces and parts that come with that. I'm private on social media more than what people think, but I'm also private in my personal life too. So I keep my circle very, very small. My like intimate, close friends circle is very small, as it should be. All right, y'all. That was fun. That was a genuine feel-good video. Like, I had fun doing that. Like, I had a lot of fun doing that. As always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content from me, click the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. And if you're looking for ways to follow me on social media or ways to support the channel, all those links will be down in the description box below. Let me know in the comment box, what is one of your toxic book traits? I know y'all got some, because we all do. Alright, y'all, I'll be back with another video soon.
Around this empty town, we're searching for the lost and found, but you don't care.